How's it going, everyone? It's Louis Crypto here. Thank you for tuning into this Bitcoin update. More of an emergency one because we did have some further news from Jerome Powell. Actually, a few days ago, we did have some as well. This is where I was actually calling the bottom. And then the day of making that video, we're actually coming down to the 200 EMA. I was saying if we can hold the 200 EMA, there's these two levels that we need to reclaim. So those would be our targets. And rejecting them is totally fine because they're resistance targets. But eventually we want to push through them. So in order to push through them eventually, then we can't lose the 200 EMA. So we had another event today with Jerome Powell, but it was so much nothingness. There was a lot of charity talk and stuff like that. Just more of like how the household can't afford many things. That's what mostly they were talking about. And already in the Discord community, the belief from even last night when we were down here bouncing was that we'd bounce into this zone, but then continue down to the 200 EMA. And even before the news event this morning, we were calling for the 200 EMA. And the news event not actually bringing so much clarity. We just continue to believe in what we were already believing in because the TA was suggesting a return back down to the 200 EMA. Because this is serving as the 4-hour time frames bottom of the uptrend. So in order to maintain this uptrend and eventually break out of 74k, then we need to maintain this point. If we go down from here, then we're just starting a deeper correction, right? On the 4-hour, we would be losing the 200 EMA, but on the daily time frame, we are still currently above the 55, which is around 59,000. So if this 200 EMA actually gives in, if we fail to hold it as support and we lose 61.5 and 60,800, then we're going down to 59k as our next target. Until then, there are of course chances of bounces, but as I mentioned over the last few updates, we must reclaim and then hold above 67,000. And unfortunately, we've come down to a key level of support, not strong enough to reclaim that level. And so in turn, sending us back down to the bottom of the uptrend. Now we're getting some bullish candlesticks from here, which means in the short term, we are now expecting a bounce. So we have bounced and we're bouncing again in this current 4H candle. But it's just short term, guys. It needs to take advantage of this opportunity. If we want to stay in this long-term uptrend, then we have to bounce from here and reclaim 67k. So if it's failing to do so, and then the 200 EMA gives in, we've still got these supports to hold us up. But of course, losing the 200 EMA, it eventually results in a loss of this area and then down to 59k. A lot of people are talking about 50k. And that is true. It is a target. If I actually show you, going off of this 59k low to our current top 74k or almost, we can see that we have the 1618 just slightly above 50,000. So the people calling for 50,000, it is correct to say it's a target, but it's not a 100% guaranteed thing. Please do understand that. Just like how there are targets as low as 43k. But when we're in a bull market, we're not looking to meet all bearish targets. We're looking to invalidate all bearish targets. And so at the moment, we're not even on a path down to these even 50k yet. It's good to make people aware, but to say it 100% it's happening, that's not correct as of now, because we're still actually where we need to be, which is in fact the golden pocket. And all that really matters is holding the 1 fib level. So that is 59k. So we've still got higher lows, guys. I understand we can eventually lose it. But then at that point, the first target is $55,700. It's not 50k. We could bottom out here. We could bottom out 54k. We could bottom out at 51k. It's not a nail in the coffin that we're going to 50k, but it is correct to at least bring some attention to it. As of now, we haven't lost the 1 fib level, so these targets to the downside are not yet valid. We still have not even created the reversal wave. So the reversal wave would be a loss of this new low, $60,800, and then final confirmation, a loss of 59k. Until those two key supports are lost, which I'll now make a box between right over here. As long as we're maintaining this area, look, there's a lot of supports above that point, keeping us bullish, giving us chances of going up. So Bitcoin must take advantage of this because it actually has had multiple opportunities to get out of here and it's not taking it, showing that the bears are in control at the moment. And this is why I'm saying this bounce is just short term. We know what it needs to do in order to continue past 74k. But if we're not reclaiming 67k, eventually this 200 EMA gives in. We got one more support layer. Only when 59k is lost, we continue down to these targets. I'm now going to zoom in a little bit, but make sure if you haven't already to like, subscribe, comment and share. It really does bump up the algorithm and we're trying to get to 10k subscribers as quick as possible. So usually I'd go off of this low to the high of my fibs to show us where we're retracing to, pulling back to in order to get a bullish continuation. Now we know the 200 EMA is holding us bullish, so it's nice to see that we do have the 786 slightly underneath that point, so the 200 EMA has already crossed over that. But everything changed on this candle where we had that bullish news about how they're going to cut rates throughout the year. And we had this big red candle that had a quick turnaround because of some news. And we did actually reclaim both levels, but this was just as resistance to come back down to this as support, confirming it as resistance again, losing to support. But all that truly matters is the 200 EMA. As this is the point where everything changed, I'm also going to place my fib there instead of the low for that specific reason. And we can also see that we are currently holding it. So we're actually in the right position to go up, but Bitcoin must take advantage of this, guys. And that's it from me today. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment and share. The people that are in the Discord community are aware of all of this. It's so much more in advance because I'm constantly in there sharing my thoughts and teaching everyone. And I'm going to be doing that by analyzing the current charts live with them, whether that's in the group chat daily, whether that's during my live streams that are twice a week. Consider joining the community. You can learn a lot also from a lot of successful students in there as well. But you do also gain access to my portfolio and all of my alerts. Thank you so much, guys. Links down below. Cheers.